I'm Stephanie Silverman, one of the founders and owners of Your Teen Media. Today's workshop is focused on the importance of theater for teens. I want to thank our sponsor, Cleveland Playhouse. They value theater as essential for developing empathy, understanding, and awareness of the communal nature of our existence. Their educational programming is a critical component in creating meaningful artistic connections among children, youth, and adults. CPH is now offering free online arts and wellness programming for the whole family. Log on with Zoom. You can register for their remote learning programs today at clevelandplayhouse.com. Enjoy the workshop.
Hi, Sue Borison here from Your Teen Media. Today I'm here with Pamela DiPasquale, Education Director at the Cleveland Playhouse. Thanks so much for being here with us.
Thanks so much for having me, Susan.
And the people who are going to be most excited are the theater parents because they're tired of hearing about the loss of sports. So today we're going to talk about what their kids are feeling as they were so identified as theater kids and how are they staying connected to that. So let's start generally with what does the space of theater give to teenagers?
Sure. I think exactly what you were talking about. It helps them find their own identities, a place where they feel comfortable and confident, and a place where they're surrounded by friends and peers that have those same creative interests that they have. It's basically like their baseball, right?
So they aren't doing baseball because they, didn't have the skills, didn't prepare for it, whatever it is, weren't interested in it. What do you have to bring with you when you want to do theater?
Such a great question. What you bring with you when you are interested in theater is your humanity. So something that you've been practicing since you were born, basically, that skill set about, who you are, understanding who you want to be, or just being curious with that interest of how do I get where I want to get and how can I explore that with my own understanding of who I am, who others are, and the emotions that I have around that.
And is it a particularly welcoming place for teenagers?
Yeah, theater, we call it our safe space. And a lot of that has to do with the pedagogy and the practices that theater has had to create to be able to let artists express themselves at the highest level. So those safe spaces where there are no mistakes, there are only rehearsals, where you can make all the mistakes you want in those rehearsals and move towards a place where you're striving for perfection, but know that you'll never get there. And it's just, welcoming to everybody, safe for everybody.
4 of my 5 kids did musical theater when they were in high school. And I always marveled at how welcoming a place it was, that everyone could find a space to be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. I've seen kids from all socioeconomic backgrounds, all racial backgrounds, all educational levels. We can go on and on. Homeschool, private school, public school. When they come together in the theater space, they're all equal.
That's so lovely. I love the way you just said that. Do you think it's more pronounced now as we are living through these socially distancing times? Is theater more important to those kids?
I think theater has always been important to those specific kids, and I'm currently teaching a group of teens who were working towards a performance prior to the school shutdowns and so forth. And they will be still performing, but what they are able to do every Saturday in rehearsal is reconnect, reestablish those one-on-one personal connections that they so miss right now. But also what they're able to do is continue to find and express how they identify themselves. So they have those moments each week where they can say, I am an artist, I am a friend.
That's lovely. So they're able to do rehearsals on Zoom or whatever platform you use?
Yes. Yes, we have 30 different teaching artists on the staff at Cleveland Playhouse, and as soon as we knew we couldn't meet our kids in person, we all went to work figuring out, well, how does this rehearsal, how does this class process look like on Zoom? And you know, much to our surprise, we were able to make it feel seamless for the kids.
And are you having good participation from the kids?
Really wonderful participation. We had just in our teen academy classes 77 students enrolled, and all but one continued on with the online work.
Oh, so the 77 were before COVID, and then 76 of them stayed on.
Yes, yes.
That's great. And so right now it's weird. We're all doing things online, which isn't business as usual. Are people able to access it who aren't in the Cleveland area?
Yes, so Cleveland Playhouse has made all of our theater education programming free. And all you have to do is log on to our website to get the schedule and register. And you can do that from wherever. We actually, in addition to our currently enrolled classes, started opening new classes to everybody probably the second week in March, maybe days after we went into self-isolation. But we had some teens participate. One was from Texas, the other was from Georgia. They met each other through this theater class, and then we learned they set up Zoom meetings so they could have lunch together during the week when they weren't in class.
So you're connecting people who never would have met and helping them build friendships around theater.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Wow, that's great. Did you even set out to do that? Was that a goal or you just
No, no, of course not. We were just trying to make sure we could continue to serve the kids we were already working with. And because we were publicizing things so widely within our own community, but also within as we were sharing with different theaters across the country what we were doing, they started sharing the opportunities for their students as well. And kids who are so desperately in need of having those theater programs right now started to log on, and we were surprised when we first saw them, and then remembering those roots of theater and how quickly we connect and how quickly we say, I'm you, you're me. you know we weren't surprised.
That's so nice. Are you collaborating more with other theaters around the country? You mentioned that people got wind of what you were doing. Is there more collaboration going on than in past?
Yes, yes, there actually is. And Cleveland Playhouse was lucky enough to participate in two national professional developments over the last few weeks where we were able to share best practices of delivering theater education classes online with other theater companies. And they are starting to use the practices that we've developed. But also share what we are currently doing with their constituents as well.
Wow, it's a win-win. So Cleveland Playhouse is leading the way in online theater.
We are right now. Yep. My guess is I've got some pretty creative colleagues out there. They're going to catch up real quick. And that's exactly what we want. We want as many kids to have theater education as possible.
And do you see yourselves continuing any of this afterwards?
Yeah, so funnily enough, we never thought, hey, let's do a theater class online. Won't that be great? We believe that we should do theater face to face, just like we have for centuries. But having to learn these skills, learn how to do it, and watch the kids respond, what we've realized is we have a new way of delivering services to children, teens, adults, seniors who otherwise wouldn't have access to our programming, be it geographical location, ability, economic status, and so forth. So we are going to continue to do this as long as we're able.
So at this point, have you done any like you've had rehearsals you talked about? Have you done
Mhm.
any live performances?
We have. One of my teen groups performed this past Saturday. They delivered a series of monologues that they had been working on to about 30 friends and family over the Zoom platform. And, they were really quite stunning. And I think some of them are going to learn that they have a career in film as well.
Wow. And the feedback from the audience, what did they enjoy the experience?
They did. They did. I think that the only thing that we all missed as audience and performers is that we weren't able to have that applause after each student because we were live, but we weren't together. So we followed it with breakout sessions and sort of personal receptions on Zoom so they could go meet with their friends and family who maybe they weren't able to isolate with and get those congratulations and so forth that they weren't able to get as they each completed their monologue.
Oh my God, breakout rooms are I mean, they offer so much opportunity. That's such a
They
great
do.
benefit.
They totally do. And one of the things the kids just adore is when they're done performing, they love to run out into the audience in their costumes and, find all those people who came to see them. But they're very personal moments. So doing that, to your entire audience with all your performers in just one space isn't going to work. But those breakout sessions, they worked out perfectly.
That's great. Um, are you also reaching out to kids who have participated, but you haven't heard from them during this period of time?
We are. We want to make sure, one, that they know we still care about them, and that we're here for them when they're ready to come back. Um, and two, just to make sure that they know what's available. We had one student that we reached out to, and it turns out he wasn't participating because he didn't have access to a proper device to be able to work with Zoom. So we socially distanced, got him a device so he could participate.
Those are all the great stories that they make my day to hear them, in this very difficult time, to hear that Cleveland Playhouse connected with a kid who would love to be part of it, but just didn't have a way to do it. And then you solved the problem. Great stories.
Yes.
So tell parents of teens who have kids that are involved in theater, like just give them one inspiring thing to leave them with.
Sure. If your child is involved with theater, now's the time to get them as much exposure as possible to seeing Broadway plays, to seeing regional theater, to participating in classes with the likes of Lin-Manuel Miranda, who you never would have had those access before. But because so many of us can't meet in person, we're putting things online and often available for free. So I would just encourage you to get your kids out there and get them the access they need.
Pamela DiPasquale, thank you so much for being with us today, and thank you for all your wise words.
Thank you so much, Susan.